Good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 11 of 12 weeks of Christmas. Today, you can see I'm already down on my desk. I am going to give you a quick tutorial on gift bags. People have been asking me for this, so I will show you an easy method of making gift bags in multiple sizes. We're going to start with the most adored paper, which I think is still on the last chance list. So it was the paper that reversed over to the pinks, but it was the whites with the golds. I'm using this piece today with the flowers on it. And this piece of paper is 10 inches by 10 inches. You need two pieces like this. So I've got two pieces cut out 10 by 10. Now your finished bag will be 6 1/4 inches tall, 5 inches wide, and 2.5 inches deep. But I will show you how to do this. So for this one, we are going to score the top of it. So you have to decide which way you want the top of your paper. And I'm going to do it this way. I've got my paper trimmer here to do some scoring. So we're doing 1 1/4 at the top. So I can use my scorer this way. So 1 1/4 at the top. And being mindful, being mindful that this is designer series paper, so you don't want to score it too hard or it will rip. All right, so 1 1/4 at the top, and then we're going to do 2.5 on the other 3 sides. So I'm going to do 2.5 here. So that means that my bag will be 2.5 inches deep. Now you can alter this. If you didn't want it to be this deep, you could make these score lines smaller. But I will show you, this is how the instructions I have for this size of bag. So there we've got our, I know you can't probably see the score line at the top, score lines on the sides, and score line on the bottom. So you have to do the same thing with both pieces. So again, I am going to score it 1 1/4 at the top. And this will be the part of your bag that folds down, and you can see the other side. So that's the other thing, you want to make sure the paper you've chosen, what folds down, looks good. And 2.5 and 2.5 and 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and one more time, all the way around there. Whoops. And I'm going to move my board out of the way, so I don't have to look at that. Okay, now I do not use my bone folder to crease these lines because I find with designer series paper that it does tend to tear. So I'm just going to gently do it on the lines like that, like this. So I turn my top down first because that is how it's going to be, with the top turned down all the way around. Okay, and I am just creasing with my hands. All right, so I'm going to do both pieces like that. Top first, and then sides and bottom. And make sure you're lining it up so that you can see that it's even, because that is important, of course. Okay. All right, there we go. So we've got those pieces all folded. Now, you have to do a little bit of cutting. On one, you are going to just simply cut up this score line up to the next score line. So from the bottom up, just like that. Okay, both sides. Just so they go like that. On the other one, you're going to cut those two corners right out. need to fold that a bit better so I can see it. So you're going to cut those corners right out and they can be thrown away. Okay, like that. And now we'll put it together. Oops. There we go. So those two pieces can be thrown away or kept, whatever you decide. All right. Now I am using my Stamp and Seal today. Tear and tape would work. Liquid glue, not so much, because you'd have to hold it, I think, a bit too long. I like to run the tear and tape and fold my top down so that it stays down. So we'll start with that. And you can just use one single row across and make sure it stays down. And I work from the middle to the outside so that it's nice and flat. Okay. Other one. Just, sorry, it's not going. Here we go. Come on, Stamp and Seal. There. And work from the center out like that. Then you won't get any bubbles on it. Okay. Now, to put it together, it's just like any other box, of course. Our sides can be glued together like that. So I am going to, you're just gluing the side. So not the bottom yet, just the sides. And you can lay these, just fold this over, and you can lay this one right on top. Now, you need to make sure, sorry if my head's in the way, but you need to make sure that you're at the top and even all the way around. Okay, so it's like that. And now you're going to join the other side. Okay, flip it over. It should be fit here perfectly. And again, lining it up at the top and down the side, like that. Okay, there we have it. All right, so then you just have to do your bottom. So however you like your bottom to be. Now, because this is the raw edge going backwards, this is going to be the back of mine. So I'm going to do it like this, this, and this. Now, if you don't like those flaps in there, you can put this one in first. Oops, and then these two flaps, and then that. Now, sometimes you might want to trim a little off those flaps at an angle so they don't impede when you go to close it up. And I maybe should have done this before, but that's okay. So they're like that, and then like that, then you don't see them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tear and tape on my flaps. Just like that. And I maybe will do one at a time so you can see them. Now, you have to hold your box square or your bag, and it's probably easier to do this at the same time. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but all right, I will just put them down like that. And what I'm going to do is tip the bag over and put my hand inside and just press those flaps down. Now, you can see that the inside is a solid piece instead of the two flaps, which I like the look of. Okay, now you're just going to finish it by putting your Stamp and Seal on this flap like that, and again folding it down like that, and you can lay it down and just run your hand inside. All right, there's our bag. Easy as that. All right. To finish it off, of course, you're going to punch a couple of holes in it and put some ribbon in it. But that bag, 2 10 by 10 sheets of paper, and the finished bag is 5 wide, 6 1/4 tall, and we did 1 1/2 inches deep, right? Is that what I did? Sorry, 2 1/2 inches deep, 2 1/2. So if you don't want it that deep, you could alter and not have it as deep if you didn't want it, but that's entirely up to you. Now, as far as the holes go, I like to put them in, I just need a pencil here. I like to put them in about 3/4 of an inch, or an inch maybe, from maybe an inch and maybe about 1/2 inch from the top. So these I'm marking at 1 inch and at 4 inch and about 1/2 inch from the top. Same over on the other side. 1 inch and 4 inches. Now I have a small hole punch, so I think this is about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch circle. If you don't have something this tiny for your holes, the problem is your ribbon slips through with a bigger hole punch. So you just have to make kind of a tiny hole. So you can even punch it with your, take your pick tool, and it would punch it out okay. So I'm going to punch these out, and this one out. Sorry, get that so I can see my mark here. There, okay. And remember that you're cutting through a couple of layers of paper. Now I'm using up some retired ribbon. This is not Stampin' Up! Ribbon, but of course we do sell ribbon that would have worked with this, but I'm just using up. So all I do is I put my ribbon through the hole, and on the inside I just tie a knot fairly close to the end so that it doesn't pull through. Something like that, and hopefully it doesn't pull through there. Now this ribbon was, sorry I didn't tell you how long the ribbon was, and I seem to only have one piece of ribbon. Where did the other one go? Fell on my floor. Okay, the other piece of ribbon is, they are 12 1/2 inches for this one. You can make them as long as you want, but they don't need to be too long. So again, thread it through the hole on the inside and just tie a knot. You can use twine, you could use baker's twine for this. It would be harder to get it to stay in the hole though. All right. So do it on both sides, and that's our bag. Simple as that. I have a couple other ones to show you, different sizes. And underneath the video, I will put all the different sizes of paper and how you have to score your paper so that you can try all the different sizes if you like. I have a bag made with 12 by 12 paper. I have a bag made with, this is 10 by 10. I have a bag made by 8 by 8, and we'll do another one quickly so that you can see that procedure again with a 6 by 6 piece of paper. All right, so there we have it. There's our handles on our bag, and the bag is all finished on the inside, and you're ready to go. All right, so there's the 10 by 10. I'm just going to sit it over there. I will show you. This is a 12 by 12. So 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper. It's scored a little differently, so it's a bit deeper because it is scored at 3 inches. Again, you don't have to score it that deep if you didn't need this wide a bag. But that's the 12 by 12. So I'll do it like this, 10 by 10, 12 by 12, 10 by 10. I have 8 by 8. You can see it's smaller, of course. So there's that one. And they just vary in depth as you get smaller. All right, so I'm gonna move those out of the way. I've got 2 6 by 6 pieces of paper, and they come from the Take a Bow pack of paper. So it's this one that reverses over to the dots. Again, there's no right or wrong way, so I've gone ahead and scored this. So I'll just show you how I did this one. So 2 6 by 6 papers. I have scored the tops of this one at 3/4 of an inch. So you can see 3/4 of an inch. I'll go ahead and put those down. Okay. And the sides are scored at 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So all of the other sides, 1.5 inches. Okay, so I've already done my scoring. I've cut my corners out of the one. I have slit the pieces on this one. So we're just going to put the bag together. So I am going to put a little bit more closer to the top because I noticed it sort of shows when I go to look at my finished bag. Now you can put the bag together this way. So carefully lining up the top, lining it along the side, like that. Okay, and for the other side, a little more at the top here. There we go. I think the easiest way is maybe to do it like this. There we go. Lining up the top, lining up the edges, and pressing it down. Okay, so this box, as you can see, is 1.5 inches deep and just the 3/4 of an inch of the fold at the top. Okay, we're going to do our bottom now, and I like to look for the back, which is where these raw edges are. You can see them here. So that would be the back of my box. So I'm going to put the back flap in first, these 2 flaps down, and then this one. And make sure your box is square. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of, sorry, got to put a little bit of glue on our flaps. So I know it's hard for you to see me doing this, but put glue runner on both flaps, the small flaps, like that, and find the back of my box. So I want this flap in first. There's the raw edges of my box or bag. Then I am going to put these evenly like that, and I'm going to turn my bag over so that I can, and if you can't reach in there, you can always use your bone folder and just press down so those flaps stay down. Okay, whoops, this one even got some glue on it there. And there's my final flap. Just 2 rows of glue and press it down. And again, sit it down. And you've got the corners like that. And there's your little bag. Again, you could make these into like a shopping bag where you fold them in like that. They could be, if you don't want to put ribbon on them, you could put a clip there and they'd be just like a shopping bag, the way they're folded that way. So that's another option. This one I am putting ribbon on. Sorry, and this one I won't go 1 inch in. I think I will go 1/2 inch in on this one. Just because this is a smaller bag. Oops. So I'm just putting little markings here. Hopefully I can see those when I go to punch it. There's my punch. Okay. inch. There we go. So there is a simple and quick bag. Remember that you need 2 pieces the same size. And like I say, you can alter how you score them. And I will show you another bag I made, but these ones I chose red ribbon to put through. This is a retired Stampin' Up! Ribbon that we had, but I liked it, and I thought it would work good with this one. Tie your knot on the inside. The other option is you could put some glue on the ribbon or some tear and tape and hold it down. I'm just not sure how strong that would be. I find these ones work very well with the knots, just like a traditional gift bag. Okay, so thread it through your hole. And of course, if you're having trouble threading it through your hole like I am today, you can take your pick tool and poke it through like that. Oops, now I frayed it off. I better get my ribbon scissors here, and I will maybe even cut that at an angle, and then it won't fray so badly. Okay, so I didn't update you on any of the Stampin' Up! News, but if you go to my Facebook page, Creative Stamping with Marg, bring this back down so you can see that. There it is, Creative Stamping with Marg on Facebook. I try to keep us up to date as much as possible with all the Stampin' Up! News. There is a new paper pumpkin that's come out for January. So you would have to subscribe to that before January the 11th. And it is, I'm going to say Valentine theme. It's got a lot of hearts. It's very beautiful. A lot of hearts. Champagne foil. Looks lovely. I think I will. Those an angle. It's easier to get them through the hole when you do that. I say that and then I can't get it through. These are very tiny holes that I've done. All right. So there's a paper pumpkin. Today's the last day for free shipping. Free shipping was running December 9th, 10th, and 11th. So today's the last day for that. And the last chance list is up and running, and things are disappearing off of there quickly. So if you wanted anything from the mini catalog, you have to check and see if they're clearing it, or some of the things are discounted, some things aren't, but some things are not returning or going into the next catalog. So if you wanted something out of there, you'll have to have a look. And that is all also online on you can check my website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and find it there. So there's our bags. There we go, all the different sizes. So 2 12 by 12 pieces of paper, 2 10 by 10 pieces of paper, 2 8 by 8 pieces of paper, 2 6 by 6 pieces of paper. And like I said, you can alter how deep your bag is by just not scoring it as much as I did. I will put the measurements for these as they stand on underneath the video, but I will just take a minute to show you a different, this is also an 8 by 8 bag, but you can see I didn't score the top as deep, so that makes the bag taller. It is the same width, but it makes it a little bit taller. So again, your choice how you decide to score these. Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed that. If you did, I love a thumbs up. And check out my Facebook page for the latest news of Stampin' Up! And next week will be the last week for the 12 weeks of Christmas. So I hope everybody has an awesome week.